you show love to any character, they can do whatever content they demand. Oh yeah, shout out to BM players, Jinx and Pandy. They're doing just fine. They're doing just fine. BMs can clear guys, even without even if they're bad.
Yeah, I mean, I took some classes. Like I took a Swift for a green party. We still cleared. It's just like
it's rough.
But yeah, but I only took them because I knew them.
Yeah, BM can do fine. Yorm's BM does 13 bill.
Oh shoot, I forgot Jorm. I'm sorry, Jorm. We are now live. Hello. Today I have with me. we gotta laugh at that, huh?
Best intro ever.
I don't have a really good intro. Anyway, today I have with me, we have June, we have TJ, and we have Lumi. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
Hello.
Yo.
Alright, today we're talking about prey pubbing. Well, first of all, the first question is, are you guys having fun? Is the raid fun?
Like in general? The raid itself?
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
And initially for me, it was because I was so focused on clearing. It was frustrating, but now it's more doable, and I wouldn't say fun, but more of a challenge.
I like the dynamic of it. Like the last two raids we got, Fiend War and Luke, were really straightforward, and this goes back to acting like Anton, where each party had a specific role. I kind of like that. Instead of just one party has to go this path and the other party has to go this path.
Yeah.
I
Bring back 20 man.
Bring back 20 man. I don't know if I want to do 20 man. That was pretty awful with all those DCs. Like we're feeling it now with all the DCs. One DC will mess up the entire raid.
Dude, but you can recover though, an Anton.
No, yesterday we had 3 DCs in one raid. That was horrendous.
Yeah, we were in phase 2. Yeah, I think I was in that raid with you.
Yeah. Last night it was fucking horrible.
Yeah, a DC in phase 2 will definitely cost that.
Is it DC in phase 1, DC in phase 2, DC right at the end? Like right at the end before it failed?
Oh yeah, that's right. We were trying to clear. We were trying to clear observatory, but you guys couldn't get to the observatory.
Yeah, no, because at the end, right? So what had happened was that we got into like the second phase of the tree. And then we got into like 100 bars left, and then
yikes!
One of the party members DC'd, so we were still hitting the thing. I was like, okay, we might be able to still do it. We kill it. We walk up to the door. Dude's just standing there, walking in place. We're like, oh shit, it's
Here
over.
We go again.
Oh shit, here we go again. Yep.
And then it's like, oh fuck, it's over. Runs over.
That was week 1 for y'all.
Well, dude, I think the most disheartening one for me week 1 was pubbing. We get prey down to 1%, we boom it. That was like the most disheartening thing.
I think that happened to me twice. That was so bad.
It's so bad, dude. It's because only reason it got so bad is because people kept rushing in to go into ISIS.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guilty of that.
That happened to us yesterday too.
Yeah, you can't rush going in. Just wait for a full cycle, because when Blossom is down, the timer doesn't go down anyways.
Yeah, week 1 wasn't okay. So week 1 didn't feel that bad.
I don't know about you. It was pretty rough.
I guess there were the fails, but I was surprised to get a clear right off the bat so quickly.
I didn't get any clear on Tuesday.
Yeah, it takes
actually. Now that you guys are talking about it, I think only 2 of the raids that we hosted in-house Lumi pubs actually cleared.
On Tuesday, right?
On Tuesday?
On Tuesday, yes, because
it was really bad.
The 3rd raid I hosted cleared, and then we didn't clear another one until I came back home, which was like literally 11 hours later.
Yeah, I was on my main Seder. I'm like always going to red party, and my party was fine.
It was
just
more of a
everybody, like not everybody else, but there's always like 1 or 2 ding dongs that just mess up the entire raid.
Like,
yep.
They didn't know the gimmick and they just messed it up.
It just feels so bad.
There's so many different problems.
11
It's
other
like,
people rely on your knowledge.
oh man,
Yeah.
it's not even knowledge. It's like, all right, so there's so many different things that can happen. It's one, people not paying attention. You saw that meme on Reddit? It's like
The one with the
Oh, the
SpongeBob one.
SpongeBob.
Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing, party one?
he's like just standing out there, like people just not entering when they're supposed to. Boom, there goes the raid. Number two, people not knowing what the fuck to do in the actual dungeons. They just stand around there like twirling their thumbs while it's damage
Yeah, like,
phase,
they
or
gave
they're
us
like just
Prey
dying
daily.
to stupid shit.
They gave us Prey
Like-
daily. Like, why didn't you do it?
If you're not doing
Come
Prey
on.
daily, you're throwing the raid. Like, do that shit, man. You need to learn how to dodge the gimmicks.
Yeah, I went into a raid with a respectable player, but it boomed because he didn't know the gimmicks. I was like, no, I'm out. You didn't do Prey daily, I'm out.
there was people who had like super amp but didn't know gimmicks, and
Yeah,
that just cuts. To me, honestly, if you don't know the gimmick, that just cuts out. Now I don't care how geared you are. That just cuts out like half the DPS if you don't.
not even
Really?
like that DPS don't do damage.
Yeah. Like you
Yeah,
don't
we
know
had,
what to do, you don't know when to dodge or how to make it groggy, and you just expect to bop them. No, it's not like that. It's not like a raid where you could just straight up bop anything anymore. You know?
Yep. So
Yeah, we had plus 11 full amp mech with like plus
Oh.
32,
Oh
and,
yeah, I remember that one. I was in that one, I think.
yeah.
Couldn't clear. He passed us the raid.
It was Yellow Party, right?
I
I think so. Yeah, he didn't go in. He was like, I'm just gonna stand out here. Look
He
cool.
died like literally. The party was saying that he died too many times, eating up all
Yeah,
the
that's-
tokens.
Yeah, that's just
Man,
another thing. If you die so much, it's so very, very call it
yeah, it's
consequential.
so punishing. Like
If
it's very
you-
punishing.
I think people need to realize that if you die, unless the gimmick requires all 4 people, just stay dead until like groggy phase. You know?
Yeah.
Like Blossom, for example, like people automatically res. You know, if you die, like you wasted a token, and you might waste another token because you might not know the gimmick or you might suck. You know, it's better to just save that token until like the groggy to be guaranteed damage.
Well, that's like a double-edged sword because, like you said, there's some gimmicks that require you to be alive, right?
Yeah.
like
They don't know
Tritura,
that.
you need 4 people.
But if they don't know the gimmick and they die, wouldn't those go hand in hand? So when should they actually revive?
Well,
right?
yeah. At that point, why are they even raiding?
Yeah, that's true. Like you should have a good general knowledge of each boss, not a full understanding, but at least.
I mean, like
each boss
even
does.
you don't need to know everything. Like we did a raid yesterday with a guy who never did daily besides one, and we literally coached him through everything. As long as you're able to listen and follow orders, you're fine. But that's the problem. People don't read or listen, and it's
Not
really
at all,
frustrating.
yeah.
It's really frustrating.
Their ego's like all the way up there. Oh, I have better gear than you. Listen, and then they
Yes,
fail
think-
the raid.
You guys think BC is essential to clear this raid?
I wouldn't say it's
A what?
essential, but it does help a lot. Because I did a
all-
raid with Reba, and he only had like what 2 people in VC, 3 people in VC, including me. We didn't really talk much. He ordered
You
just fine
couldn't
with text.
communicate with them
I could have.
because they were all speaking Korean at the time, and it was
I mean,
just
it was fun. I didn't know what they were saying, but it was fun.
Probably was just like Shiba.
Pang pang.
I was in there trying to help communicate for Tig,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I know. One of the meme raids we did, I had a 7 DPS. I think only like half the people were in there. We still cleared.
That's a
I-
very, very rare exception.
Yeah, because
I know-
that's when everybody knows what they're doing, or they're like decently geared enough to not need
Yeah.
a synergy. I mean, if you're not
That's the
dying, and you're constantly DPSing, you should be fine in theory.
Yeah,
Like-
but that's the problem. Most people don't know what they're doing right now.
I mean, I
Including
think. Well, for pubbing wise, it's harder. So, for me, I don't trust people when I pub or take in random people. I don't trust them. So for me, I don't care like how repetitive it is or like how annoyed people get. I always give instruction and make the calls as soon as we enter the dungeon. Like for Thunder Girl, I always say black top, white bottom. Always, I say that because there might be someone who does it differently or something. You know?
Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like just making sure like everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, but there was also like this one part where he asked if they knew how to do red, and they said yes. When in reality, they didn't.
Oh man,
that
So,
killed
like,
me.
at that point, what do? You just boom.
like if you're honestly gonna try to save it, then you would just try to explain it as best as you can. But like, yeah,
I mean,
would
it's hard to explain anything when they're not in comms. Like, if you're typing it all out, no, you're wasting too much time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably.
Which is why Pray Daily is there. Like, go learn it.
Out of all the dailies in every single pub, when we get to runes, it's almost always a fail at runes if you don't have VC. That's
I always make that call. I always say like P1, P2 light, P3 and P4 dark, and I always say I call out the runes, and then the other people on the other side will call back what the letter is. I always make that call before I even enter ISIS. I don't risk it at all, unless I'm in the voice chat with them. But usually, since I don't trust people enough, I try to do like the gimmicks on my own. Like if I go the lion for the sanctum, I'm always like usually the one that goes the furthest away from him to create the longest path for people to cover. You know, because some people don't do that and have like short path and messes up the gimmick sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You don't want to get too close.
Also,
people-
on a separate topic about Lion, Plate can mess that up. So just anyone watching, if you have Super Plate, it makes you invulnerable sometimes, and the line will go through you. If that's the case, you might want to be the one that be the furthest away, but targets you.
Or just take a hit.
or take the first hit. Yeah.
Yeah, take the first hit.
Yeah. Take
Or
first
like
hit.
literally just take a lightning.
Yeah, because you still have two other people to back you up if you do miss.
Yeah, just like make sure you proc it before that gimmick happens, or proc it like in the beginning of that gimmick.
I mean, it's a chance, so I don't know if you can proc it forcibly.
I thought it's their first hit after like a certain amount of time.
Is it?
It's not yeah, it makes you invincible for 2 seconds when you're attacked. It's not
Okay.
a chance. It's on a 5-minute cooldown.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah, continue what you were saying, TJ.
I don't know what else.
Forcing
yeah, like
taking control of the gimmicks.
Yeah, like for Lion.
I'm about to die.
Targets whoever's the furthest away, right? I try to run away wherever he lands, create the longest path for people, so that it covers, so it gives enough time, a longer path to cover, you know. Sometimes it's too far. Sometimes if people mess up, so I don't trust that.
I've seen two different like I wouldn't say strategies, but like how people deal with it. It's that like some people they just try to hit him or like tank his charge like in front of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people like I personally don't think that's a good idea because I've seen a lot of people miss because of that, but some people swear by it. And I personally try to get to tank his charge like as far away as possible from him.
Try to do it somewhere in the middle, because if you're too close to the person, it might hit the person instead of hitting the rock.
Oh, yeah.
Weird hitbox.
So like, but I try to give them like a lot of space between them and Chitara. So that way, like, they can react to his charge and not just like eat it.
Well, I always go based on where the circles aren't in that path of 9, because that's where you're gonna not get stunned the most. Usually it's a little bit before him. It's always somewhere in the middle where the most lightning strikes. But honestly, Chitora's not too bad with pubs. I haven't had that many issues with pubs failing Chitora. Unless you guys
this is
do.
one person.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Lumi knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Someone we thought
yeah.
who would know, but didn't know. Explained it and after a couple, no, we still failed it.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
really?
just they were just like they were like heading towards the charge line, like the indicator, but then they would either not go into the line or they would get hit by the lightning and get knocked out. It's like,
Well,
come
if you
on.
get hit by lightning, I kind of don't blame you for getting hit. Because sometimes it's
Yeah,
some
but you
fast.
can still recover from it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Can you? It's really hard when because Chitara fights like 5 minutes. I've been in a lot of Chitara fights where we have to get that hit, otherwise we fail.
Yeah.
And the best course of action would be to try to find a path where it's least lightning strikes.
I mean, yeah. Of
Because
course.
when the whole raid is riding on that clear, it's kind of hard to base it off of RNG of whether you're not gonna get stunned or not.
Yeah, that's true. Like when it comes down to it, you can't mess up. Otherwise, you're
I
like
yeah.
I mean, you could say the same for the archer girl. Like you can have the yellow aura, and then what?
Yellow.
She pops her ice thing
Yeah.
right as you get it. I was like, oh my god,
But
and you get
there's
hit
a
anyway.
solution to that. It's called using the toy.
You could toy it out.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Toy.
like when you're close to finishing up the
Mhm.
arrow,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have that reaction time. You're gonna get hit anyway.
Well, I think that comes down to like just being aware, because like most people, I think, like this is personally what I think. Like most people, when they're playing the game, they kind of turn their brain off a little bit, because they're just going through the motions. Oh, this is raid. I've completed it X amount of times. This should be easy. Let me just hit the thing until it dies, and then we go on to the next one. But they don't realize that there's certain like parts of certain fights that you got to pay attention, like Chitara, Alexandra, Blossom. Holy shit for Blossom, you got to pay attention to your counter. And if your counter's at 100, you can backstep quick rebound it to save yourself a little bit longer. But like most people just, I'm just gonna die and take a token because I do damage.
I think that's the biggest one. Blossom fight is the ultimate hardest one. In my public experience, Blossom fight is the one that
Do puppet again. Do puppet again.
Oh wait, you're gonna have to reset because I don't have enough token for it.
Yeah, like that.
Reset status.
This is exactly what we're talking about.
He took me into training room.
Oh, you're in training room?
Yeah, I'm testing my lolly satyr, so.
Ah, okay. Like I was saying, I feel like Blossom is the biggest.
I don't know.
hurdle.
Like every time I go in there, it's fine. It feels like it's so
Well,
easy.
yeah, exactly. But if you're in a pub, if you're talking about pubs, if we're talking about like known people who actually know the fight, it's not a big deal. But that's my biggest determining factor when I if I need pubs to be in red, or if I need pubs to fill in a slot for red. That's the biggest issue I have trying to fill a slot in.
Ooh,
Like,
I buff for. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, if they know Blossom fight, because literally every time I try to recruit for a red synergy or a red satyr, I always ask, "Do you know Blossom fight?" And if they are unsure, I'm usually hesitant on accepting them.
Going into accepting pubs. On that note, how do you think cut lines translate into the ones you host?
The ones that, week one we tried to base off of Fear's cut lines, but after clearing a bunch with under those cut lines, I feel like it's a slightly under. You can make do with slightly under. 10 bill synergies I was taking into red, and we cleared fine.
But how big was the DPS though?
Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna get to. Depending on what your DPS is, you can fill slots in. You can fill lesser slots in for those.
Like for me personally, I will take in generally anybody, as long as they know what they're doing, and understand and know what to do for the gimmicks. I even took. I'm not
That's
pointing
kind of
out any.
hard to. That's kind of hard to know if you're
Yeah,
doing pubs.
yeah, but I'm not. But the thing is, though, I'm not calling out anybody. But I did take a synergy who did only 8.5 bill. But you know, like we cleared perfectly fine. There was no issues for that party. It's just personally for me, like there are specific requirements I have when I'm hosting. Like when I create Red Party, I need people to know how to do Blossom. Cause like I think now because people understand how to do the raid a lot better, people tend to fail more on phase 2 rather than phase 1 now.
Because they're rushing
Because
into ISIS.
yeah, rushing into ISIS, not paying attention where to go, failing Blossom, um, you know, simple mistakes that can cause an entire raid, you know, on phase 2.
Should have
Like
seen yesterday.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yesterday was rough.
like in my honest opinion, like if you are in Blossom and you waste token already, both of them, and you mess up initially, like right at the start,
Get out. Yeah,
retreat,
yeah.
get out, go back in and retry it. If a party does not know how to do Blossom Red Party, then I think that's a fail, right? In my opinion,
Yeah.
because like when I was hosting yesterday, I put Flesh and which was the satyr, but he's not in the Discord. But those two knew how to do the gimmick. But when I put the two synergies, I said they knew how to do the Blossom gimmick. They both end up dying and wasted tokens, and they dead. And Flesh had to
Like,
solo
how
DPS.
hard is it to just jump and quick rebound, just hold it for eternity, and then repeat?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody knew until someone tells them.
Well,
Like
there's
I
also-
didn't even know until someone brought it out. I was like, oh shit, you could do that. That's cool.
Yeah, the guy, one of the synergies, he's in this Discord, but like he apparently didn't level up his quick bound. I was like,
Rebound?
why?
Quick rebound. Yeah, I don't know. Like, why would you not have that leveled up? That's kind of weird.
It's 10
Did he
SP.
say he didn't have it leveled, or did he just not
Yeah.
use it?
He said he didn't have it leveled up, and then he decided
What?
he
In
wanted
what case?
to he said he wanted redemption and like make it up to us, and brought a really strong synergy, but I didn't take him because I needed Blossom, you know, party. So
Because
So,
he
like,
probably
why,
didn't level up quick
either way,
rebound
like,
either.
why would you not have quick rebound? Because Fiend War requires it. Makes no sense.
Yeah, that's
I
kind of
mean,
weird.
that's not a female requirement. That's just a base character requirement.
Yeah, like,
It's only 10 SP. Like, what do you need that for?
don't a lot of raids have quick rebound mechanics?
Yeah, it's like what do
you need
those
it.
10 SP for?
Well, the invincibility frames, come on, that's
No,
alone.
no, as in like, what else would you have used those 10 SP for instead of quick rebound?
True.
Come on, just level it up. Just
Big
use it.
brain cells. But speaking of Blossom, there's a couple of one-hit gimmicks that she does do if you're not paying attention. Like,
One where
Yeah.
she
Well,
duplicates herself?
it all involves like her stupid counter thing just going all the way up, and then that kills you, right?
and most people think that will kill you, but there's a couple one-hits, like where she branches off into her clones.
Yeah, I don't like the
You get hit
clones.
You get hit by her wrong car, you're dead instantly.
Oh,
Or
wait for it.
the biggest one that always gets me is when she starts the Axion gimmick, the white circles, and then someone shares the same circle as you, but they slightly miss the inside of the circle and start blowing up. And then if you're in the circle with them, you get hit by that too, and then messes you up, and then you both die because you get multi-hit by her mini explosions. That happened to me once, where the entire party was in the same white circle. One person
Oof.
stepped out,
Oh,
wiped the entire party.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and then we were just like, fuck, we can't do it. We have to retreat, and that literally cost us the raid because we had to go back in. We cleared it in 2 cycles, but we needed another Blossom clear to actually get the last DPS phase for prey. We were like probably 35% short, which is one good prey cycle.
Oh,
Yeah, so small things, big
Small things add up.
repercussions.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
basically the entire raid. One small mess up will mess up the raid.
Yeah, I feel like this raid is way more brutal than all
But
the
the
other
windows for forgiveness is very small.
which is why it makes, in my opinion, it makes this raid like really
Much more interactive.
interactive, enjoyable when you actually do clear. Just like, damn, it's not like Luke where you just like in. It's like, okay, Raid 1 done. Let's go next raid, and then
The thing about Luke is, if you mess up, you could just go out and go back in. There's nothing to harm.
Yeah.
There's like no punishment in that.
So I feel like this has been the most fun I've had in DFO for a while. Back since Anton. I enjoyed that. I mean, a lot of people don't like the 20-man. I always liked having a lot of people.
I do too. It makes it fun. It makes it feel like a raid rather than just 2 parties.
Yeah, it feels like Luke and Fiend felt like a private, like
It was just a big
Private-
It felt
Party.
exclusive. Like
Yeah.
you had your clique of people, and then you just got it done. It feels
Yeah,
bad
like-
because you leave out some friends.
yeah, being a host, only being able to accept 7 people was like really hard because you have like what? You'll have like 20 people who want to get in, and then you can only accept 7.
Oh yeah, that's rough. Like, just having to be so selective, and then people will draw inferences from that, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't take me because blah 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 blah."
Oh, like yesterday.
Oh my god. Okay.
That
Oh, yeah.
that God, cut me some slack. I just started hosting. I don't know
Yeah.
everybody, man.
Actually,
But the thing, no. In both cases, he was new and you were new, so like it was a lose
Yeah,
lose
but-
no matter what.
Yeah, but the thing was, he didn't. I don't know if he read the rule or not. Doesn't it say you have to have your Alicia Explorer name on next to your Discord?
his name was actually his Explorer, so I don't know if he.
At that,
No,
at the time
at
it
the
was.
time
At the
it
time
Oh,
it
wasn't.
was.
Okay.
It wasn't. It wasn't. And then I asked him and I told him about it, and then that's when he changed it. But by then I already accepted all the DPS to the party. I couldn't accept them.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he
it's
did-
unfortunate.
I
but,
did.
yeah.
I talked to him too. I did tell him that it was just like he handled it poorly, but I guess at that point he was already sour, so he didn't want to.
Well,
He didn't want.
I like going back to the other point. It's like the whole raid being bigger, so it's less exclusive, right?
More
It-
inclusive.
More inclusive, but at the same time, because of how hard the raid is, it's even more exclusive. Because you gotta you're trying to find people that can clear. You're not like I understand that people want to get into the raid, but it's one thing to be like, oh, you're not taking me because you're just elitist. It's another to not be ready for the raid at all. Like you have people trying to apply as, oh, I am green DPS. Please let me in. I'm cut line. Like, no, I need more damage. Like I can't afford to take you. Like I don't care how cool you are. I don't care if you know the president of the United States, whatever. Like I don't care. Like if you can't clear the help me clear the raid, it's impossible to take you. Like yesterday, I had someone who was in green DPS, and oh my god, the whole time he did not have his swap weapon on in his buff swap UI.
Did he have it
The
at
whole
all?
time.
Like, was it in his inventory or just wasn't?
It was in his inventory.
But it wasn't applied.
Yeah, it was something
Oh
about he
my
was trying
gosh.
to S-rank it, and
Forgot to
so
put it back
what
on.
what happens when you try to S-rank your up hope weapon is that if it fails, it goes back into your inventory, but your buff swap UI takes it out. Because I guess it tries to use it as an item or whatever.
Well, it
So
takes
he
the
forgot to
item
put
away.
it
And then,
back in, right? And then we went through the whole fucking raid with him doing however less damage that he was doing. Actually, I'm on my ghost player, so let me find out how much less damage that is.
Weapon? Isn't weapon like?
S weapon, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well-
the weapon, but it's also part of the 9-piece set.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually pretty huge.
So you're losing 21% one level from the 9-piece set effect, another level, and another 8% from the weapon. So that's 2 levels and 29%. That's like fucking 30-something% off your buff.
We were
You
wondering
mean
why
to tell
green.
me that our green party could have been way better because you didn't fucking put in your buff swap UI shit and cost 11 people their raid time. Like, that's the extent of people's, for
Baggage.
lack of better words, yeah, baggage or whatever the fuck. Like, this is why people are so selective. Because everyone, like, we have to assume, as a host, we have to assume people are, like, their brains are turned off. Like, they just got home from, like, a 9 to 9, 12-hour shift or something. And they're just trying to get this raid over with because everyone else is going to carry me. and it's really frustrating to have to deal with people like that. I just went off on a whole rant.
I mean, it's part of the pubbing. Like another like the attitude thing we talked about a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Attitude of like what's the least I can do to get in versus like, I need to do more to get in.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, come
Like
on.
I'd rather help out the guy that wants to do better, rather than what's the least I can do and like bag the raid.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
if
just
if you see a soulbender and green party, like what are you doing, man? Just give it a little more effort, and you're easily yellow and red.
yeah.
Actually, you don't. That's the thing. You don't even need to try on Soulbender. You can get in yellow, and red.
Yeah, because you're so strong as a sailor.
Yeah, I told Tiggs yesterday when he hosted that and when Nolan made it and he took over for the hosting, like there was a Soulbender who wasn't fully buff swap, but he still was put in red team because Soulbenders do retarded damage. Like their sustained damage and like their overall damage is so huge. Like you can put them in red party even if they're not like max swap.
My personal cut line is if you're not 12, 12, 5, 5 super, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't be in
Yeah.
prep because like you
Right.
didn't finish Fiend War. Like they're just it's the natural
Yeah.
process of things.
That's my first requirement that you have to meet.
And
When
then
it comes
like zero enchants is like that's another thing. If you don't have any enchants, you're not showing any kind of effort. Like what are you doing?
Well, the thing is, some of the enchants like are really cheap. Like the 20 PMI ones are like what, $1 million gold each. It's like a
20
purple
PMI?
card though. Yeah, it's a purple card.
Oh, that's not the 21s. Those are like 300k,
Yeah.
300, 400k. Like, all right, 500k at best. You just gotta upgrade it twice, right? To get to 25.
Like if you have zero enchants on those slots, then it's like, why?
Exactly. Like why?
I
You
know
have
you're
no
not hitting
excuse.
It's like
Like,
just
even
invest
plus
a little bit.
15 accessories are pretty damn cheap. Like what are you doing?
See, like that's like I know there's gonna be people out there listening to this and be like, "Well, I'm not like that. My stuff is definitely way better than that." And I'm sure it is, right? But when there's other people, or when people try to bring in their alts that have literally no enchants or low effort chance, it's like, why does the rest of the raid have to sacrifice their time, their money, their effort to carry your broke ass or like garbage ass alt?
I watched Aegis Rick's video because like it popped up and recommended for some reason, but like he was making a point where like, oh, I'm like I have all the end game gear. Why aren't people taking me? Because they didn't have good enchants. They didn't put in effort for their buff swap. Like you have to have if you're expected to get into like the new end game content, you have to meet at least the minimal cut line of what people expect, like 5/5 super, full tabers, good enchants or like decent wise with good buff swap. Like I won't like for me, even I won't take anybody who
my
like brings
gosh.
in bags like that. Like you have to have the minimal requirement.
Funny you say that though, because like I see
No,
apps
I
with
I said that.
Harlems. I saw Harlem
Yo.
applications. Like, what are you doing, man?
I say you should meet and go beyond the minimum. Like, do your best. Like, because it goes beyond like showing the effort, right? Because it's like if you can bring in something that like seems better than just minimum cut line. Not only does that improve your own chances of the raid, right? It improves the raid's chances of clearing. It improves everyone else's morale because it's gonna be like, oh, this guy's actually pretty decent. I think we have a chance at it. Instead of, oh, look, it's another XYZ bag and we're gonna have to carry him. Oh, this raid's gonna boom, blah 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 blah. Like
Or they
it
just
all
straight up
it all
leave.
snowballs. Well, yeah, that too.
Like, I don't want to carry this guy, so I'm leaving. So you
I don't
you
wanna waste my time.
took in a bag and you lost a dude. Like that just feels bad.
That's a net loss on not only taking on the bag, but losing the other good guy.
You gain negative.
Yeah. So just try your best, people. Like I don't know.
For me, when I'm hosting now, I don't try to bring characters that are like bare minimum cut line. I try to always like go beyond that cut line of
Yeah.
requirement.
Like
That's
a good idea is to be like in between. If you're trying and you're on like an alt or something, it's to go in between yellow, green and yellow, not minimum green.
yeah. I always have the mentality is I don't want to bring a baggage to a raid and have people carry me because that makes me look bad.
Yeah.
And I don't. If I do that, I will definitely, bring a carry after to cover for it. But I don't always. Whenever I start raiding on those characters, it's because I know I am beyond the cut line to raid with that character.
See that we're all very opinionated about this.
Oh, I've never
It's
been
because
in
I've
a
seen
green
so
party.
many bad players with like okay. So there's the thing about having good gear and being bad players. And what's how is it going to be when it's a bad player with bad gear? Like you're taking a risk of too much to handle
Yeah.
because it's a
I-
pub. Like you can only rely on so much.
Yeah, but like I also can see it from the other side. Like, let's say some of the newer players, they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, I want to try this out, but this is this is the best I've got." Like this is my pinnacle. Like, here, take this.
See,
And
that's
sometimes it's like, yes, we want to like we want to take some new people, and like if you're truly vested into the game, yeah, we'll try to do it. But like at the same time, it's like
At that point, it's kind of the game's fault because it really is a grind fest, and if you don't keep at it, new players won't really know what to do
yeah, it's rough
properly.
on
And like
players.
you see all these new players with their battle gear in their swap UI. Like, come on, what are you doing, man?
you
Oh
just need
yeah,
someone to guide them. That's it.
Yeah, I know. Like, if I see that, I'm telling them like that's not how you do it. You're supposed to do it this way, and it's up to
Yeah.
them to like take the advice or not.
See, I feel like pubs have the worst of it trying to get into Prey because sometimes I host and I'll be on my like 5th raid and I see the same applicant from raid 1 trying to get in still. Like, if no one can vouch for you regardless of your gear, you probably won't get in. Like, a lot of people take knowns or people who've cleared prior with them. And if you have 0 clears and you're trying to apply it, it's just really rough on the pub.
yeah,
I feel like they would have to like join a raid Discord to get in. Like,
yeah.
to get,
I would
yeah,
advocate for that. Like,
yeah, it's,
just joining a community where you have a better chance at it. Like, you can explain your situation, be like, "Oh, I'm new. I'm trying my best. Can someone try to take me in the raid? I've done Prey Daily a couple of times. I generally know the gimmicks. I've read the guides. Blah blah blah. I'm sure they'll take you in.
Yeah,
But
if
if you're
you
just
put a
trying
face behind the computer, it's much more bearable to help a guy out
to,
rather than like some random dude you don't even know and they're replying like I don't need to take you. I can clear without you, buddy.
yeah, like if you can even talk to them, that's so much more better because you can give them advice, you
yeah,
can guide
exactly.
them.
If
But if
you're
you're
in
just
a,
trying to get in as a stranger, it's gonna be like, "Oh, who are you? I don't know you. Bye."
that's the,
And then
that's,
they like whisper you and like fuck you, like all that stuff. Like, what?
Oh,
You have anything better to do? Like apply to another raid. God darn it, man.
I saw that. I saw. People overreacting like that is just kind of it's just kind of funny to me. Uh, yeah.
I don't know,
And that
dude. I wanna take my lolly sitter in, but I wanna get her stats higher.
what's their
But
buff stat right now? But what is the buff stat minimum requirement for you guys?
I think it's
for go ahead, Tiggs.
15k for M
For green?
satyrs or so for green. Like 15 to 16 would be able to yellow. 16 to 17 would be able to red.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
have
that's
full
very much.
tapers, yeah, if you have full tapers, 5 super, and some decent chance, you should be able to make it.
That's like 14k to 14.5. Because Because like a lot of the stats come from like emblems and pets and that other.
Yeah, but
extras.
sometimes you don't have access to that. You know, like for me,
Well, yeah.
only way I could get my lolly satyr better is if I get the weapon clone box, a skin emblem generator if they ever come out again, and a pet. But I don't. There is no pet swap pet unless I get the transcendent creature stone. But I don't want to spend money for that. You know. But
Yeah, so it's kind of like a trade off, you know, like how far can you push your character so that
yeah,
like you're not dragging everyone else down. But yeah, I think that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Because satyrs in itself is a whole big topic. I think.
I think satyrs generally don't really have an issue. It's the pure DPSs that have all the issues.
I don't know. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's why I took the 7 DPS.
Wait, how do you guys feel about the no patches for this raid right now?
It's really hurting.
it's making a lot of difficult choices for taking in certain classes. Like right now, I saw when I was pubbing, I noticed and saw people taking DTs. I mentioned in the general chat earlier, but like DTs don't really do damage right now until the buff patch comes out, and people are still taking them. You know, there are some classes like you can't really take because they don't do damage. You know.
Oh yeah, shout out to BM players, Jinx and Pandy.
And
They're doing just fine. They're doing just fine.
Yeah.
They're doing just
Yeah.
fine. BMs
Yeah.
can clear guys, even without even if they're bad.
Yeah, I mean, I took some classes. Like I took a Swift for a green party. We still cleared. It's just like
It's rough.
But yeah, but
You
I
have to
only took them
compensate. You
because
have to compensate.
I knew them.
Yeah, BM can do fine. Yorm's BM does 13 bill.
Oh shoot, I forgot Jorm. I'm sorry, Jorm.
Wow, you forgot Jorm. Like the 13 BMs that he plays. But he can be in yellow. I think what happened one time was, I don't know if it was on his battle mage or not, but yellow was just kind of struggling, so I moved him up into yellow party, and they did perfectly fine, and we cleared.
Pretty sure Jinx can too, and Pandy.
Yeah, BM's like
They're just
BM as a
fine.
class
You
is-
you show love
yeah.
to any character, they can do whatever content they demand.
Save.
Savior.
What is that a class?
Paladin?
What is that?
Paladin also really don't do damage either,
But
even with the
no,
20
like
second.
they're still good though, because they provide extra heals.
They're good, yeah. But the thing is, it's like I don't know, dude. We do definitely need a buff patch because a lot of the classes we're very specific about and picky about the classes right now.
Yeah.
They're not.
Everybody's
nearly
looking
doing
for a
enough
soul
damage.
bender because soul benders are just dumb.
They just get better and better.
Well, they get nerfed, but then they get
better.
Yeah, it doesn't even
Indirectly.
affect them. Yeah, it doesn't even affect.
Because other classes get shittier. Give us balance patch, please.
End of October,
Well,
right?
End of October is when they said they will, but
Coincidentally, that's when the lost treasure.
Like pure DPS, a lot of pure DPSs. I base it off of their sandbag. I know that's not a really good judgment, but if based on your sandbag is where I place you, it's not an actual judgment of
Your competency with the gimmicks.
competency, but I just need to make sure that your damage output is high enough to be in that party.
Yeah, that's true. Because you really do need the damage for Tritura. If you don't have it, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, because if you have to 3-cycle any of the sanctums, that's
oof.
likely
That's
a fail.
Pega.
Especially for Alexandra, where if you miss any of her arrows, if you miss more like 3 of her arrows, it's gonna be really tight. Like,
yeah, I feel like I spend more time in Alexandria than Tritura.
Alexandria is the hardest one in phase 1, in my opinion, because a lot of people
Miss
whiff her arrows too much,
Yeah.
and then They just decrease the amount of time that they have to actually DPS her.
I don't blame anybody though, cause like she moves really fast and her RNG just
Yeah,
sucks.
and that's why your damage output to do Alexandra should be a lot higher because you probably won't have enough chances to actually do enough damage to her.
And one thing I noticed is that people stop trying to DPS her while the arrow thing's going down when you kind of should be.
Well,
That's a,
Otherwise,
I
you're
think
wasting time.
I think it's fair because
depends on your class. Soulbender should always be X-stringing her.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. That's true.
I think it's fair when people don't DPS in that situation because
You want to
if
hold
the
your Qs
arrow
and whatnot.
no, not that. It's just if the arrow, if you're on the person, like the person who has the arrow is trying to lead it to Alex, and you're kind of near that person, and you get hit, you get stuck in the crystal. So it's
True,
okay.
too.
I'm okay with people not DPSing in that situation on certain classes, but
Well, on my SM, which is short sword master, her sustain comes from just IF stringing. I will IF string her, but I also pay attention to the yellow circle's size too. So as soon as it starts going down, I'll get out of there as soon as the other person is about to drop the arrow on her. Because if you're any damage, as much damage as you can is going to help Alexandra, as long as you're not getting in the because one wrong move, like we've said, can cost the fight or the raid. Especially since you have limited pots, and if your satyr gets caught, and then you
Pretty
don't
much
have a satyr,
screwed.
Yeah.
it makes it that much harder. Like, what I've seen, male satyrs have it the hardest. They have such slow move speeds.
Not
Trying
only
to keep
that, not
someone
only
healed.
that. Like sign of
Yeah.
protection absorbing damage is so dumb. Like on my first few raids with them, like the DPSs would get hit, and I'd nearly die just because they got hit. It's ridiculous. And what, he only has like 3 heals. 2 of them are on really long cooldowns. It's rough.
Yeah, satyr has some really good heals, and they're on the lower cooldowns.
And they give edification, so you could run around faster.
Yeah. But honestly, the buffs on M satyr are just good.
Oh yeah, way too good. Like same similar stats, but M Satyr will always buff harder because of ascension stacking.
That's the trade-off on the male satyr.
Less utility for more buff.
Out of all the raids I've done, though, I've probably failed 4 times as many, maybe 5 times.
I think I failed way too many. Way too many than I've cleared, I'll tell you that.
How many clears did you get?
I think I'm at 8 right now? 9. I'm at 9.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it was, but I had more reliable and dependent people when Tiggs came on for some reason, and we just cleared 3 back to back.
Yeah, you have people who know what they're doing. Like I said,
Yeah.
when we did the 7 DPS, everybody knew what they
Minus
were doing.
Jose, who will be put in Red Party.
I mean, we coached him, and he did just fine. Like, he didn't die, he did the raid just fine.
Yeah, if you have a good player who's known to be a good player and is willing to learn and just improve, even if they haven't done much of prey.
Funny thing is, he was put in Red Party and didn't even have Operation Hope Swap yet.
Yeah, because I had Flash in our first raid, our very first raid. He didn't know Blossom fight. He didn't know a few of the boss fights.
Calling him out? You calling Flesh out?
No, Prey. Hey, I'm commending on him because we cleared. That was the very first raid we cleared. He still got through, and Flesh. I can't speak from experience how good he is, but based on that performance and the sole evidence that we cleared first raid ever in the Lumi pubs, that you just need people who've known to be good players and actually know how to pilot their own class. That in itself is going to help you get the clear.
think I had a few more questions, but I guess we could end it here. It's been almost an hour.
I mean, if you guys want to continue to go, I mean, I know I have to leave in a bit, but don't stop because of me.
Oh well, no, we're done. There's not much else to discuss.
I mean, I can probably
Everything
do-
else is just a complaint
Yeah,
about-
that's true. Most of it
about
is-
like the state of pubbing.
I think right now
it's
kind of okay because people are generally know what to do.
Well, then again,
And-
we run a glorified pub. It's not a peer pub.
Yeah,
it's
but
not-
the thing is though, our cut line, at least especially when we host and stuff, like cut line isn't as strict. I wouldn't say, like we can be somewhat lenient and cut back on some of the cut lines that Fear originally had, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like we still look for like, you know, a little beyond that, you know. So
Well, it's also based on the player's knowledge of the prey gimmicks. Like, if you're not gonna take someone like who's
never done a Prey
Kid.
daily, doesn't know any of the
exactly.
gimmicks
Like, now that we are past week 2 or the middle of week 2,
in week 2, yeah.
it's the cut line, in my personal opinion, is not as high as Fear originally put it. That is optimal.
I want to say it's
One-
like a precautionary cut line.
Yeah, like his cut line was, I think, on point for like entry
For day ones.
or day ones. Like, a lot of people were saying that they were too high, but honestly, looking back on it,
Didn't he bump it down too from a
yeah,
something else? Like
Yeah, he
wasn't he trying to be lenient?
yeah, he was based on KDMF standards. Yeah, we bumped it down, but looking back on it, I feel like those were the optimal cut lines. But going into week 2, halfway through week 2, those cut lines can be bumped down a little bit as long as
They know what they're
boss
doing.
gimmicks and player gimmicks, know exactly what to do. And no,
The problem with bumping it down is you risk the everything. The DPSing and the dungeon clearing has to be on point, otherwise you risk messing up the dungeon.
the way I see it is those cut lines are for optimal, clean, smooth runs. You can definitely have runs, but you're gonna have runs that are really rougher if you lower that cut line down. But they're clearable. Like yesterday, Lumi and I, we had a 20-second left on the raid, and we cleared.
Yeah.
And then
That was
one
Monk
prior
Ice,
to that,
dude.
3 minutes until we were gonna fail, and we still cleared. So based on your quality of applicants, the quality in raid goes either up or down.
Yeah, just gotta make sure people know how to do the gimmicks. I think that's the most important.
Always check buff swap,
Oh,
crit
oh.
cap.
Check that swap always.
Elitism! Ree!
Don't be a ding dong.
Well, some of the applicants we've taken, and then we look at the buff swap, and they're just not optimized.
yeah, it's not fully optimized. Like people, like you know what kills me is that people are like who get Operation Hope swap don't have max swap, but get the special
Warped?
equipment, the warped one,
Which makes
instead
no
of getting
sense.
the extra levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it-
the extra levels will be more than the actual.
Yeah,
warp bonuses.
yeah, 3% compared to what? How much each level gives? Like
I think
2%.
from warp
Yeah.
to encroached, you lose only like 1.5%, and then each
Yeah,
level
it's like
probably gives more.
super min-maxing. That doesn't really do that much of a difference.
Yeah, someone tried to argue with me saying like 2 extra levels is worse than having what was worse than having a warp that he had.
Even
I
if
was like,
even if you're
no.
yeah, even if one level gives you 1%, you're getting 0.5 more percent than the actual warp. Like if full warped, if you don't have the plats, is 1.5. If I recall, 1.5 less than from encroached, because the actual warp set gives
Warp set normally gives 3%.
yeah.
And Coach
3%.
gives nothing. It gives levels, just flat levels.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Distorted is 1.5.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah, the distorted one.
but you're only losing what 3% compared to how many each level gives you. You know, that's pretty big.
Each level normally gives you 2%
But
on
from
average. Like an average buff. It's every level's about 2%.
coming from a host, even if you don't have max buff swap, as long as you show love to your enchants and your gear, if you're too short, 3 short, I will still take you.
Just don't have 6-piece cron and nothing else.
Yeah, if you show some competency in your
No, like even
buff swap,
if you had old school buff swap, you should be fine because the
No. I'm talking about
No.
6 cron, 3-piece, or household. Some
Oh, okay,
mishmash of like random stuff, like missing slots. Like,
okay,
I
okay.
seen that happen. I seen that happen. It's like
that happened yesterday.
5-piece uphold missing slots and is what you're not
Like,
getting
come on.
anything from that, dude.
You're actually not getting any buffs at all.
Yeah, exactly. You just like imagine the amount of damage you'll be doing if you actually just did like basic old.
But I do 12 bill.
Yeah, he was amped plus 11 everywhere, plus 13 size, and only 12
Only
bill.
12 bill.
You should be doing more. If you had a optimal buff swap, you should be doing like 14, 15.
Even more, because he was an Avenger.
Yeah, like the amount of damage you get from just small optimizations can be pretty mind blowing sometimes.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what most people think is like, oh, it's just could be help you more percentage increase, but that translates a long way, especially with prey when you're in that fight for like 5-6 minutes.
yeah.
Maybe
Like think
4.
about plate. Like saying, well, plus 15 more stat on Ellie doesn't mean much. No, it actually does.
Yeah, that could be the difference between you and clearing. So like back then when I used to play, I was like I would skip out on enchants. Yeah, I don't need enchants. But now going into current endgame and actually caring about enchants, I can see the difference between damage outputs. Yeah. So just giving a little love to your enchants, not essentially the biz enchants, definitely go a long way. And it's gonna help you and your raid in the long run.
And your chance of getting into a pub.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one like what Lumi said, no one's going to want to carry your character that you put no effort in when everybody else in the raid put effort, wants to clear, and wants to continually to improve. That just shows everybody that hey, I'm serious and I want to gear this character and I gotta contribute something to the raid.
I think that's a good note to end this. Anything last words y'all want to say?
Yeah. Please put more effort in. We will notice. We know when you're putting in effort, and we know when you're not. So
On
please do
Lumi
so.
side.
Yeah, just stop asking to be green party. Like for the love of God, just stop asking to bag.
Try to aim for yellow at least. And if you can't
think of
make
the
yellow,
minimum color as yellow.
No, like it's just who are you to be so entitled to go into a green party? Like we can find green party anywhere. We don't need you
green
for
parties-
green party.
Yeah.
So stop
Like-
asking to be green party.
But my elitism, though. That's probably gonna get a lot of flack.
Alright, any plugs?
Yeah, come watch Tiggs stream
yeah, watch
Wow.
this.
during Prey and hear all of the
Exactly.
stuff.
Oh my god, all the stuff that we talk about.
And see me fail so many times, like going in
Nah, you're not
early,
feeling
fun.
it. You
going
talking
in
about-
early and dying all the time.
Actually, that freaking. Alright, that's probably on another note, but Prey Bugs last Thursday, my god.
Oh my god, yo, the Prey bugs.
They're
Have you seen
hilarious.
Zatricon? He did one attack where he's just throwing like the fireballs, right? It's like before his groggy. In my party, he kept doing that and he just flew away from the screen.
Yeah.
He just kept rising. And
Just like my people
Oh
need
wait,
me.
I was in that with you, wasn't I? Yeah.
I don't know if you were, but it was a green party, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No. Oh no,
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 it's
I
the
was thinking
lead-
about Tritura. I was in Tritura and like
Oh, no.
he
Yeah,
was stopped.
Tritara
He
has a
stopped
lot of
attacking.
glitch.
He stopped attacking. He was just moving up and up and up. So literally only me as the mech had like things that could hit him aerial. It was just hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh, that I was there with you. I was there with you.
Yeah. I think you were.
I was
I
on my
think you
Seder.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, when that happens, you can't help it. Just near people spaghetti code.
Neeple, please.
Like that happened like 3 times in a row though. So that literally cost us the raid.
Alright, I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it. It's an hour.
All right. Good talk.
Alright.
Good
All right,
talk.
thanks guys. Thanks for joining on this TiggsTalks episode. What number are we on? 4? Yeah, 4.
Four.
4.
Second time, haha.
Lumi second time.
Alright. Sounds good, right. See you
All right,
guys.
say bye, guys.
Later.
See ya.
Later. Bye.
M N R.
N as in bad word.
N M B
N as in
I.
bad word. Bad word.
Motherfucker.
B N R E M.
M as a mom.